versus Business Live. I am once again coming to you right outside. Just watch Fantastic Four. And so I'm giving my just out the theater reaction, everyone. Man. So what did I think about this movie? Very interesting, very interesting. A lot of different things. I don't think it was as funny and quippy as Marvel movies can be, but it had a lot of heart. So what does that mean? I think this is a non-spoiler review, guys. So I'm just gonna go top of mind, what I saw. But I was really impressed with the storyline around family and what it meant. I mean, I guarantee they probably said family as much as they did in a Fast and the Furious movie, probably even more. I mean, it was so many mentions of family. I mean, this is what the movie was about, right? It's about family. So I thought that was kind of interesting how they did all that. So what was my thoughts on it? I wasn't a big Fantastic, never been really a big Fantastic Four fan, but I've read a couple of arcs, and it is interesting, right? It's just basically this family that does adventures together and get into all these scrapes and have fun, right? Like Spider-Man, who's just in the neighborhood and helping people where he can, but still living his life. Superman, basically is just a good guy with all these powers trying to do different things. But the Fantastic Four actively go look for stuff, right? I mean, they literally get in their plane or their spaceship and go to the planets and start some ish up, right? Just because it's something to do. So this is the whole core of who they are. So it's kind of interesting. So yeah, I thought Mr. Fantastic was decent. Pedro Pascal did his thing, but I kind of was looking forward to someone a little bit more, I don't know what's the word, a little bit more aloof. I mean, Pedro Pascal, we see him in so many different things that, yes, he's a good actor and has range, but I still could not see a Joel from, The Last of Us or Mandalorian, excuse me, or the shoot, man, I can't remember the character from Game of Thrones, but it still could see that too much. So, it's kind of hard to see him as this kind of, staid guy that was really serious about dealing with science and stuff like that. So Vanessa Kirby, right, as Sue Storm, I thought she did a great job. I mean, definitely I felt her pain, her threshold, and I love the fact that what her story arc was about. What a mother should be, right, and really focused on that and the sacrifices she makes to do that. I thought that was pretty interesting. So yeah, she had a huge hero moment, right? I thought that was awesome. Johnny Storm, man, surprised me as a character. Man, ever since Stranger Things, man, this guy Joseph Quinn, man, he's taking it on fire, man. He's just been going through the roof. I cannot unsee this. Let me know in the comments below. Do you believe that Joseph Quinn looks like a younger version of Robert Downey Jr.? It's going to be interesting when they put them on the screen together in Doomsday, right? When Robert Downey Jr. will be coming back as Victor Van Doom. So I'm going to make sure to see what's going to happen next, right? And I wonder if they're going to put them both on the screen at the same time. I guarantee you're not going to see it, that Joseph Quinn does in fact look like a younger version of Robert Downey Jr. So anyway, he did a great job. He had a hero moment. It was associated with intelligence and not with his rashness, right? Think about it. Every one of them, their powers are kind of stem from who they are. That's just who Marvel is about, right? So uh you have Mr. Fantastic, right? He stretches himself too thin with all the things he tries to do. So obviously he stretches, right? And then you have a Sue Storm, right? Sometimes she can be invisible and is really kind of protecting herself, just like a woman sometimes has to. Obviously, Johnny Storm, he's firebrand, he's brass, he's young, he's always trying to do stuff. So he flames on. His hero moment came from intelligence, not from being brass. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So, but I thought he had a good hero moment. The one person I felt got a little short staffed, and you could tell they probably thought through this again after the fact because they shifted the way he looked as a character and they left that all the way to the end because maybe they did it a certain way and they realized, oh, this is not working that well, so we need to go ahead and change his look a little bit. And so they changed his look. I made it CGI and they just kept it to the end, which is very interesting. So but it looked better. to their credit, but still, just weird. They just kind of left it as is and kind of kept it going. So anyway, so make a long story short, I thought that was kind of interesting to kind of see all that. Overall, so Ben, really didn't have a real big hero moment. He had his moments, but I didn't really get a sense that he was driving the story too much, maybe because the CGI was too expensive. But I really wanted to see more of an arc for Ben Grimm, right? Shoot, when I was growing up, Ben Grimm was up there with the Hulk, right? I mean, he had his own comic. I mean, this was 20 something, 20 25 years ago, but he had his own comic book. I mean, clobbering time was a big, catchphrase. Seemed like he was in everybody's comic at one time, right? He was more famous than the Fantastic Four. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Do I recommend you see this movie, Fantastic Four? Yeah, I think, if you're a Marvel fan like I am, there is some interesting mid-credit scene that to get you excited. The super end credit, the last one, I don't know, Marvel kind of gave up on those. I mean, you can stay if you want to, but it's just a nice little Easter egg, if you want to check that out. But, it's up to you. You probably can watch it online and next by tomorrow. But the mid credit is definitely something exciting. If you read the comics, I thought it was kind of interesting how they just got into the storyline, but there was no connection to, what we saw in Thunderbolts. So if you saw Thunderbolts and the mid credit scene for Thunderbolts, I thought there was going to be a connection between those two, but they didn't. So that was weird. So Marvel's still doing Marvel things. I mean, they're trying to slow down like these mid credits leading to another story. I get that. It doesn't seem as interconnected as I thought they should, especially when they only have what, two movies coming out this year, I think, for MC. Well, three movies if you call it Captain America. But Captain America, trying to think, what was the mid credits for that? I can't remember what the mid credits for that was. So that's how long ago that was. These comic book movies and especially from Marvel, just not giving me the same, feels like they used to. But I guess I love homework, so I'm gonna keep watching them. So overall, would I recommend you see this movie? Yeah, I definitely think you should go check it out. See if you're a Marvel fan. If you're not a Marvel fan, I think there's something to be said about sacrifice, about family, about what does it mean to be a part of a bigger crew. It just wasn't as quippy and as funny as I thought it should be. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And so I wish they had more of that in there. But overall, the storyline was entertaining. Definitely a lot of great CGI. This is not a spoiler, but Galactus is in it. And he looked fantastic, comic book accurate. And so I thought that was good. And then Silver Surfer definitely had a great arc, and I thought that was powerful. So like I said, there's some moments in there. Even Mole Man had a little arc. I like that too. I do feel like the storytelling. I mean, look, these are the best storytellers in the world. So everything matters, even though it's all over the place. But everything matters, and it does come back again. So I like that aspect of the movie. So if you pay attention, you kind of say, "Oh yeah, this makes sense." Everything kind of makes sense unto that. Especially if you're a comic book person, you kind of know where certain things are going. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But overall, I give it, let's see, out of 4 stars. I usually rate these out of 4 stars. I would get a 2.5. I wish it was a little bit more quippy and funnier, but I did like the story arc. I mean, as a family guy myself, they had a awesome joke at the very end. If you ever have a kid in a car seat, you know the joke. It is hilarious. So I thought that was kind of funny. But overall, it was kind of middling. I didn't really get a lot of claps at the end of this movie. And so, I don't think it reached the heights that it probably should. Maybe because there was a lot going on, especially at the beginning and just kind of throwing people into this new world of the Fantastic Four. Literally, I thought they were going to do something negative at the end of this movie, but they didn't. They kind of pulled back. So I thought that was an interesting choice. I wonder if they had done the other choice and made it a little bit more negative. But it seems like MCU cannot go negative. I don't know what it is. And it was right there to go negative, and they didn't go negative. And so I thought that was kind of an interesting choice. So go check it out. If you're a Marvel fan, go check it out. If you're not, I think there's something to be had for families. I'll probably go see it again with my family. But is it the greatest of all the Marvel films? No, probably about 2.5. It probably will steal some of Superman's business. If you don't know, Superman is doing okay. It's probably gonna max out about 600 million, which is not good. I did a show versus business show. If you go check out my main channel, Show versus Business, we talked about the business aspect of Superman. With this movie coming out, Superman is weak internationally. I wonder if Fantastic Four would do better internationally than Superman. If that's the case, then Marvel may win this round against the DC. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a battle royale over the next couple of weeks to see who's going to win back. But I guarantee it doesn't seem like any of these movies, comic book movies. I doubt if we're going to see $1 billion comic book movie for a while. Maybe Doomsday, if they set it up right, but maybe another Batman and Superman movie, maybe a Justice League movie down the line. But it's gonna be hard pressed to get another $1 billion franchise like we did. I think the last one was, I'm trying to think. I think that was Spider-Man, right? No Way Home. I think that was the last. It was $2 billion, right? But and obviously Endgame and then Aquaman. First one surprisingly made a billion. But yeah, they're few and far between, guys. So superhero movies we're maybe expecting, and they spent a lot of money on these movies. So we may be expecting middling 600-700 million top line. It's really gonna be hard. So anyway, guys, if you like what you hear, go check out my main channel, Show versus Business. I'm doing it live right outside theater. Just saw Fantastic Four first steps. Hope you enjoyed this review. Go check it out. Put in the comments if you liked it, and check out our main channel, Show versus Business. Peace.